Hi, I'm Corinne Bailey Rae and I'm a musician and producer. I think I'd always grown up in different styles in music. You know, I'd come from an indie band, I'd danced ballet when I was a kid, I played violin in an orchestra when I was younger than that, and then I worked in this jazz and soul club, so I felt like all the options were there. And I think as time's gone on, my sort of curiosity and desire to do things almost in a reaction to the last thing I did, but also I feel like particular songs kind of direct you as to what they want to sound like. I just feel like it's all there. To me, they're all really similar kinds of music as well. You know, I used to go out to this jazz and soul club and it would play like 60s, you know, Brit pop, and in one room, in the other room it would be like Motown, R&B, soul, and they would, you know, people would go from room to room. It was seen as kind of the same music, you know, the flip side from one to the other. So I think that made me feel like kind of music is just music. I think it's important to explore all the things that you feel are in you. You know, I also think whatever you do, ultimately it's going to sound like you. So it's just a way of expanding your sound and creating interest for yourself and people who, you know, listen to you. Everything I've learned as I've gone along has been really useful at that particular time. You know, I don't sort of look back and think, I wish I knew that or I wish I knew this. But I think, you know, listening to people, to other people who are involved in, you know, in my case, music, but also then getting to meet so many other people in different fields, in fashion design, in videography, in documentary making, people who are playwrights, people who are poets, people who are visual artists, you know, and hearing that they have the same thoughts, obsessions, struggles, you know, how you manage a project, like how time works, how you fall in and out of love with what you're doing. It was kind of refreshing and reassuring to hear that everyone has these kind of same, like the process is so similar across all the different artistic styles, and to feel more like a maker than specifically like you know, a musician or a songwriter. I think so many things inspire me. You know, I love being in nature. I think just in the particular sort of position I am in my life, there's so much to kind of look this way, you know, sort of back and historically, but then, you know, to be looking ahead at the future and to be really appreciative of the moment that I'm in. I think that's really inspiring to me. You know, my friends, the exhibitions that I get to go and see. I think there's so much to write about. You know, I've never felt uninspired, which is really good. You know, I just feel things just come in, you know, ideas just come in. And that's one thing I'm grateful for, you know, that the creative spark. I think music is the expression of what happens when people come together. And so I think that will always happen, and it's interesting to think about the way that it builds, music builds community, and music is there for self-expression as well as making the community feel like they can be, each individual can be heard. I think people use music as a transformative experience, and they use it to transcend, as a way to get to the ecstatic, as a way to get outside yourself. So I think as long as people who are making music, you know, are able to like keep that connection, you know, there's no end to what it can be.